Hey everyone. So, you know the drill. I talked about my favorite actors, my favorite directors. Now we're going to talk about my all-time favorite actresses. And this list is going to go the same to my favorite actor, just based on how many great movies I've seen from them and how much. Now, technically, this is the third time I did this list. The first time I did it was all the way back in 2019 when I ranked the actresses I found the hottest. So, that was kind of weird. Then I did the list of my favorite actresses, which of course went by the book of favorite movie or whatever. But this time, of course, I'm doing it based on the actual ranking I found for it. And yeah, it's not gonna be based on how cute they look. A lot of the actresses on this list are cute ones, but I'm gonna try not to base that on it because this is based on their roles and how good they are. This isn't really based on how sexy they look, because even sexiness can backfire, can make for rude paparazzi. For example, you might be crazy, but I found Amber Heard to be a pretty cute actress. Then I saw what she did to Johnny Depp in Trial, and she sucks. So there you go. Let's do this. Here is Rachel McAdams. Rachel McAdams has had a pretty nice role in movies. She's appeared in a good amount of stuff. There's Sherlock Holmes movie she had a nice role in. There's her main role in the Doctor Strange movie. And of course, a good variety of other fun comedies or romance films that she has a hand in. I've seen her in a lot of stuff. I gotta say, every time she appears in a movie, I can definitely tell she can portray any type of role. Whether it's the over excessive white, the ridiculously rambunctious girlfriend, or just the overall unlikable person, it's always a fun role with Rachel McAdams to portray. Like anytime you see in a movie, you feel the way she acts. She's like one of those actresses that has a personality you can really get too invested in. You don't focus too much on the way that it's acted. You focus on that way it's seen, like you see it as an actual person as opposed to an actress. I think that's what makes Rachel McAdams such a great actress in all the movies she's in. She really makes it hard to believe that she's acting. Michelle Pfeiffer. Of course, Michelle Pfeiffer has had her hot moments, like we all, of course, know her beloved role as the amazing Catwoman in Batman Returns. But outside of Batman Returns Catwoman, she's had a bunch of other great roles as well. She had a role in the Marvel movies as the Ghost character or whatever. I can't say much about that. But her other roles in many other films that I've seen her from have ranged pretty well as well. I've seen her in a couple of movies. Some of them can range from her portraying somebody interesting. Like for Scarface, for example, she's one of the main female characters that we see, and she can act very nice. Even though we know that she's not the main focus, she can still act really well, even despite that. It's like she tries to make it work as so well, even though it's not a main role, and that's great. You know, she takes advantage of her small role. And all the other roles she's in, she takes great good advantage of it. Like when she's dressed up as a cat villain, she takes the role very, very seriously. It doesn't matter how small of a role it is, she'll take it seriously. And, you know, that's what I see in her. Jamie Lee Curtis. Everyone knows Curtis in her many roles. Of course, beginning her career and being most famous for her beginning as the Halloween chick. I can't name in my head. I think it was Laurie. Well, whatever it was, she played a big role in that movie. Then she would reappear in many of the Halloween sequels, return for the last three Halloween movies, which proved to be a very underwhelmingly ridiculous trilogy. I mean, it had a great start. The first one from 2018, then it just... Anyway, Jamie Lee Curtis has acted pretty well in the Halloween films. But not only that, when she's not in a Halloween movie, she can be in something else really nice. Her roles, I mostly think, range from her being as much of a smartass or badass as she can be. Like, she can pretty much take on being the badass, being the center woman when the men are always acting ridiculous in front of her. She'll be there to talk crazy about it. It's like she's badass, you know? She has that sarcastic, smartass kind of role that puts her in many of these nice films. She can really pull that off really well. And even when she isn't just about her getting scared over a guy in a mask, it can be about her getting very annoyed with other people she's with. I think that's what makes most of her great roles. Of course, here's Emma Stone. Emma Stone is a fun actress. She's made a lot of great roles. She began in some rom-com and teen flicks like Superbad or Easy A, and then she went on to get nominated for Oscars and become much bigger. And I've seen many movies from her. Now, many roles she's had are really nice. I mostly know her as portraying Gwen Stacy in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, which was a pretty nice performance. A bunch of her other performances are nice as well. Now, there are a couple of her most famous films I'm still trying to get to, I haven't seen yet, but they are on my list, so that proves Emma Stone's greatness. Her greatness of acting in terms of mostly kind of keeping it to a perfect role, kind of keeping it a right sense of her, you know, kind of having that kind of fun, humorous, but still serious role. I think that's kind of what it's like, you know. She plays off a serious person, but in the way the movie sells it, it comes off of us being both invested while also kind of find it funny. I think that's what makes Emma Stone a fun actress, in my opinion. Her ability to act serious while still making it come off in a more funny manner. I don't know, maybe that's just because of the way the movies are edited or whatever, but I think she's definitely able to pull off those kind of roles. The kind that are serious, but also have a good sense of humor involved to it. This is Kirsten Dunst. Kirsten Dunst is an actress who started off young in the 90s in movies like Interview with the Vampire or Jumanji. She became much more popular when she portrayed Spider-Man's love interest Mary Jane in the original Spider-Man trilogy. And even though the character was pretty awful, we all hated her, she was a lame, dumb love interest, I gotta admit, the way Kirsten Dunst portrays that dumb love interest really works well. Like, every time she whines or complains or acts unlikable, you feel it. And that's what makes it work, because she's able to make the unlikableness work in characters to her full acting range. And honestly, I think every character I've seen her play has ranged from being pretty unlikable. Like, I found her character in Interview with the Vampire a little annoying, and even in Jumanji it got a little annoying too. But still, the way she portrays them makes it work, as she is able to kind of embrace the unlikableness and like understand that they're unlikable, give them a nice emotional attitude that would annoy us, but still work as a performance. So it may sound weird to call Kirsten Dunst so great, even though her characters aren't great, but the way she acts them out is what works nice. This is Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz has an interesting career. She started off in the 90s with some small roles. She began in a role in The Mask, which was a nice one. And then she got much more stuff. She appeared in a Charlie's Angels remake. And she also had that role, of course, in the famous comedy There's Something About Mary, which was a nice one. I mostly recall Cameron Diaz for her voice work in the Shrek movies. Yeah, she's one of the main four in the Shrek, and I know it's a weird role to focus on, a voice acting role, but considering that I've seen those movies more than any of her other acting roles, I think, it's not bad. Those movies are great, and she definitely had a great voice to them, so I think that's kind of it. I think Cameron Diaz does well at kind of ranging in her different girl personality styles, whether she can be very hot and sexy, or she can be very ignorant and full to herself. Kind of keeping true to herself in a way to make it so that she's not trying to get attention, but at the same time knows when she wants to get attention. She does that well in her roles, and I think the way Cameron Diaz makes for all those kind of characters are really nice. So yeah, whether it's her acting or voice acting, I see a lot of good stuff come from this actress. Here's Sigourney Weaver. Now, Sigourney Weaver is an actress who's done a lot of stuff. Of course, her best known roles are in the Alien movies as Ripley, and she is definitely a badass. When we watch the Alien movies, I say Ripley sure is a badass. Even though I didn't care for 3 and 4, she still portrayed the character really well in those movies, just as well as she did in the first 2 films. And even though it kind of sucks we don't see her as much afterwards in the newest Alien movies coming out, the way she was in those movies works pretty well regardless. When she's not doing Alien, we see her in something like Ghostbusters maybe. She had a role in the Ghostbusters movies as the love interest who got possessed, and she does that pretty well too. Like mostly just when she gets possessed, she just turns herself into a crazy bombshell or whatever. And then even before she's possessed, she'll act as simple as ever. That's kind of nice about an actress, knowing when it's time to shift over. She'll shift from being a serious normal person to being someone completely over the top and unusual. And, Sigourney Weaver is one of those actresses that can pull that off pretty well. Helena Bonham Carter, if I pronounce that right, is a British actress. The British are always fun. The actress has a bunch of British roles. She's mostly known for her collaborations with Tim Burton. She appeared in many Tim Burton movies, like Sleepy Hollow, Big Fish, Dark Shadows, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, etc. And when it doesn't have to be from Tim Burton, it can also be from some other movies as well. I've seen her in some other stuff. She had a role in the Cinderella remake, which was one of the very few Disney remakes I actually enjoyed, or a role in some Oscar-winning films. So it's nice, you know. I mostly think British have a nice personality, and seeing her embrace her full Brit style while still knowing how to act is, I think, what makes her so fun, in my opinion. Because, you know, she's so obviously a Brit, but you don't want to think about that too much. Like, you're not going to make fun of her for that, because you actually can see that she knows how she acts. You know, she knows her ways. So I don't know how much to explain. I just think that she's kind of the symbol of Tim Burton female. If you're looking for a girl in a Tim Burton movie, it's gotta be played by Helena Bonham Carter. I think since Tim Burton's one of my favorite directors, it would only make sense that this actress would be one of my favorite actresses because they both kind of have the same feeling towards what they do. Now, originally Carrie Fisher was number one. This time she's number two. And no, that's not me saying I'm against anything else, but Carrie Fisher is still a great actress, with, of course, her lovely role as Princess Leia in the Star Wars saga, and a couple of other nice roles too. Looking back, it was mostly just her role in the Star Wars films as Leia. Leia is an awesome female character. She's definitely one everyone can enjoy, with her ability to pull off some epic stuff, kind of rule her way as a princess, while also rule her way as a simple woman who is ready to fight. And she doesn't do too much. She doesn't make it so much that she's woman in power or shit. She just treats herself everything else. She doesn't overstate the welcome. She doesn't do anything to make us get annoyed by her. We're able to follow her. Now, that's how a woman should be. We shouldn't be focusing on getting a woman so she's badass so we can all be like, yay, they respect women. No. No, we should just have them the way they want, the way they should be, the way they're written. Not to overshadowing the film, but actually just there in the right way. That's what her role does. She always has a good sarcastic tone to the character she plays, and it always comes off as fun. It's great because, you know, sometimes a character who's sarcastic can get annoying and we can hate her for it. The way Carrie Fisher portrays those, it works really well. And it sucks that she passed away so young. It was 2016. I still remember how upsetting it was, but she's had a lot of great roles behind her, so even though that was a sad, tragic death, we'll always remember her. Now, Scarlett Johansson is my favorite. And no, it's not because she's hot. I mean, yeah, she is hot, I know, but it's because I've just seen her do so well in many other movies. She has a great career of films. Yeah, she's hot, but in terms of acting, she can do it. Whether it's with the MCU, Black Widow, or many other roles she can swing herself into. Every time I see Scarlett Johansson in a movie, I know she can act. I know because there are times where she does look a little below being hot, so don't tell me I'm just doing this because I'm attracted to her, because a lot of the roles I've seen her in, she definitely can come off in a new role. It doesn't have to look attractive, it can look simple, the tone, and it does that, you know? I think Scarlett Johansson just has a nice tone in the role she's in. She will either get that look where she is actually concerned in the actual necessariness. I think that's kind of what I like from her roles. Her ability to actually look concerned in the right ways. She has the best concerned face I've seen out of most actresses. Like when she makes a face, you can really feel it. Like you feel that face. Not not because it's sexy, but because it's the right tone to fit the right style of what the movie is. It's, you know, just that kind of those faces that she makes or those outfits that she wears, all the stuff she does. She's a great actress. I really enjoy her work. Even I'm gonna try hardest to make it sound like I actually love her as an actress, because I do. Okay, I promise you, I am not just putting her at number one because she's the hottest. I mean, she is hot, but that's not why she's number one. She's number one because I've seen her in so many movies. She's acted great in those movies. I can follow her really well. That's just what a good actress can be. Oh man, these things are going on long. I'm taking longer to make these rankings as I did used to. You know, you used to kind of rush it so I can get all the way, but now I'm kind of going as long as I could be. So these videos are getting longer. Be afraid. You're gonna have to sit longer if you dare. You don't have to. You could just skip, but you know, I make them longer to make people who don't want to skip suffer. That's what I do. I make you suffer, yes. I don't care what other videos we are. I don't care how big other people are. I'm going to make my videos so long, you're going to suffer from them. Like right now, I'm wasting your time talking about this. You can't end the video because that would be against the right way. You gotta finish it. You gotta know that you finished it, but you can't because I'm just talking. Might as well just keep the camera on so you can keep watching. Screw it.